Thank you for joining the Amazon Web Services State and Local Government team on our Initiate e-learning series. I'm Michael Jackson, and I lead our AWS Elections business. In this presentation, you'll learn more about our strategic approach to this market, the customers we serve, and the types of vertical solutions entrusted to run on the AWS cloud. Elections are among the most important administrative processes underlying our democracy, and today they face an array of sophisticated threats designed to undermine system integrity and public trust. With AWS, elections administrators and political campaigns alike are empowered to focus on the core needs of the electorate in a secure, scalable, and cost-effective way, rather than building and maintaining the underlying infrastructure to support their mission-critical efforts. Today's agenda is pretty simple. We've broken the content into three categories. First is the new normal, which speaks to the ways that our customers are leveraging more and more the benefits of the AWS cloud. Secondly is our approach to this segment, how we work backwards from the trends and challenges that our customers face as elections today become more and more complex. And finally, AWS for Elections will give you insight into the resources that we offer which securely simplify and modernize customers' electoral processes. We often hear from our customers that the cloud has become their new normal. What they mean by that is that the democratization of access to innovation has really allowed them to optimize the way that they do business. Previously, only the largest of agencies and the most well-funded customers were able to access innovations like machine learning, artificial intelligence, the most advanced analytics, and more. Today, from the smallest of counties to the largest of federal agencies, from the smallest of startups to Fortune 500 companies, we're finding customers leverage the cloud more and more to access these advanced technologies. In fact, Secretary of State Trey Hargett in the state of Tennessee offers the following testimonial. He says that our department, in its mission to exceed the expectations of our customers, has benefited from the expertise and collaboration with AWS. The same holds true for agencies around the world. In fact, globally, over 6,500 government agencies use AWS. As it relates to elections, in the US, at federal, state, and local levels, customers across the board rely more and more on the cloud to securely modernize their elections processes. What we'll talk about shortly is how we've segmented those customers into categories that align with the solutions that we bring to market. First, there are political campaigns. Political campaigns often operate to mobilize or influence an electorate on behalf of a particular candidate or political party. Many campaigns at national and local levels trust AWS to modernize their processes. Sample customers in that category include both the Democratic National Committee as well as the Republican National Committee. Next, there are civic organizations. The primary mission of those organizations is typically to mobilize the electorate and to get out the vote. Sample customers in that category include Rock the Vote and League of Women Voters. Today, we'll focus primarily on the second category on your screen. Those are elections administrators. Elections administrators consist of secretaries of state, boards of elections, county clerks and registrars, and others who are entrusted to securely promote and operationalize the elections workflows and processes. Across Amazon Web Services, we adopt the approach of working backwards, and AWS for Elections is no different. In fact, over 90% of the solutions that we bring to market are the result of direct feedback from our customers. The other 10% is our interpretation of what the market would benefit from. Specifically in the elections market, there are three trends driving disruption. The first is election integrity and cyber attacks. In fact, during the 2016 presidential election, almost every US state was notified by our intelligence community that interference had been attempted. As a result, in 2017, the Department of Homeland Security classified elections infrastructure as critical, meaning that breach of such an infrastructure would be detrimental to the democracy of our country. An associated challenge with that trend is that our customers are always looking for ways to rise to the challenge, to address and mitigate these advanced threats. A second trend that we've identified in the market is seismic shifts in the demographic makeup of the U.S. electorate. In fact, in 2018, all millennials were eligible to vote. Millennials are defined as those born between the ages of 1981 and 1999. So as of 2018, all of those U.S. individuals were eligible to vote based on age. When they head to the polls, however, they're bringing unique expectations of what online experiences should be like. These expectations have been conditioned by other online interactions, either via social media and other forums. Additionally, accessibility is a primary concern among our customers as well. In fact, some states have recently passed legislation mandating that alternate means of voting are made available for individuals with certain disabilities. And finally, the third trend is aging infrastructure. Until recently, it had been since 2002 with the passage of HAVA, the Help America Vote Act, when up to $4 billion was appropriated for elections modernization. In 2018, the final 10% of those funds were released, approximately $380 million for all states across the U.S. In 2019, $425 million were also approved by Congress to specifically address election security. Collectively, these trends present unique challenges for our customers, and our customers are meeting the challenge. In fact, across the board, for use cases from security to voter experience, from cost optimization to agility, speed, and innovation, elections administrators and other segments are leveraging the AWS cloud in a number of ways. Specifically, we have introduced solutions or categories of solutions that directly align and correlate with the trends and challenges faced by our customers in this market. Those three categories include security and compliance, voter engagement and accessibility, and elections data management. First, security and compliance. We offer our customers and partners the ability to take advantage of resilient architectures, cloud formation templates, and other solutions crafted specifically for the secure, critical needs of the elections market. They even have the option for leveraging architecture and infrastructure that maintains data sovereignty. That means that AWS employees managing that infrastructure are U.S. citizens based on U.S. soil. Second, voter engagement and accessibility. Within this category, we offer solutions that enable our customers to engage their electorate on the terms of the voter. Whether the voter prefers to interact via website, mobile app, social media, text messaging, or a host of other channels, the information that he or she receives should be no less accurate, secure, or interactive. Accessibility is a primary concern here as well. Sometimes preferences are driven by need rather than choice. And so it's important that every voter has equal access to secure, accurate information so that they can exercise their democratic right. Finally, elections management. In this category, we help our customers to accelerate their efforts in modernizing a host of use cases and workflows, from voter registration databases to election night reporting, and all the non-voting election tech use cases in between. Our customers benefit from leveraging the AWS cloud to automate and accelerate their modernization efforts. For more information on our approach to security and compliance, I encourage you to view our AWS Cloud Security 101 presentation. What we'll do now is dig deeper, though, into the other two categories. Starting with voter engagement. Voter engagement, as we define it, requires an omni-channel approach. Regardless of a customer's preference or need to access information through a number of channels, as I said before, that information should be no less secure, accurate, intuitive, and interactive. Let's start with an example of a website designed for reporting election results on the day of the election. Traditionally, capacity planning for such an event was quite a rigorous exercise. The chief data officer or IT manager would often plan on capacity based on historical needs. The problem there is that if you overplan, you end up with unused resources, resources that sit idle, and the cost is not insignificant. As a matter of fact, over time, those unused resources amortize, and they continue to sit unused, essentially leaving resources on the table that could have more effectively been used elsewhere. On the other hand, if you underplanned and you don't have the capacity needed for the demand on election night, it results in crashing websites, poor user experiences, and potentially degraded trust in the agency. Conversely, AWS for Elections offers capacity without planning. With auto-scaling, this use case offers just that. As a matter of fact, capacity increases as demand increases. It declines as demand declines. This is especially important for such a cyclical use case like elections. So essentially, we enable our customers to focus on the mission-critical needs of serving the electorate, rather than the undifferentiated tasks of managing capacity planning for a website. The same can be achieved as voters expect a seamless experience across every other channel as well, be it voice, chatbot, text notifications, or an answer hotline powered by Amazon Connect. One example is the state of New Hampshire. In preparation for hosting the 100th first-in-the-nation primary election, the state's Secretary of State's office collaborated with AWS and our partners to modernize the ways that they engage voters and disseminate accurate information securely. Our approach began with a workshop. In this workshop, we started with an exercise outlining all of the questions that a potential voter may want to have answered. Second, we made a list of virtually every channel that a voter may choose to engage with while soliciting information from the Secretary of State's office. Those channels included websites, mobile apps, text messaging, telephone, voice assistant like Alexa, and many others. Again, regardless of the channel, the goal is to disseminate information securely, accurately, and intuitively so that every voter, regardless of the demographic that they represent or the ability or disability that they may possess, has access to the same information. Now let's talk about the third solutions category, elections management. Aside from the actual casting and counting of ballots, there are a host of workloads and associated use cases that support elections. AWS helps to support these workloads by fulfilling elections data design criteria across a number of capabilities. Increasingly, election stakeholders require flexible options for ingestion of structured and unstructured data from a variety of sources. Using AWS to build out an IT infrastructure that is both scalable and that will be capable of handling future demands is a critically important decision. For storage and archiving, requirements for election data varies based on the type of data and how it's used. Applying a one-size-fits-all approach is both difficult to scale and extremely costly. No other provider offers the variety of storage classes and is more cost-effective than AWS. With the addition of S3 and Glacier Select, customers can gain access to that data as well as the granular controls over access provided by the AWS platform. Regarding the need for a secure networking environment, it's critical that elections administrators can supply a secure environment for elections data, and AWS provides the tools necessary to create a secure environment for such use case. Additionally, security is a top priority for both AWS and our elections customers. AWS provides over 1,800 security controls which can be applied to your election data, while enabling other stakeholders to meet rigorous audit demands in a cost-effective way. Regarding data resiliency and disaster recovery, AWS can provide a variety of scenarios that are not only more cost-effective, but also capable of outperforming traditional solutions. This is just one advantage of AWS for elections as we continue to meet the needs of millions of active customers. So across a host of workloads and use cases, from e-poll books to identity management, campaign finance regulation, and voter information systems, states across the country, including New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Tennessee, Georgia, and a host of others, are leveraging the power of AWS and our partner network to power their most sensitive workloads. So we talked quite a bit about the state and local government market, and specifically elections administrators. One specific example that comes to mind when we think about voter engagement and accessibility is the Alameda County, California use case, where they serve election maps at high speed and low cost on AWS. On a tight timeline and a shoestring budget, the county built a map-serving solution based on Amazon S3, AWS Lambda, CloudFront, and identity and access management. Essentially, for very little cost, the agency was able to serve its dynamic electorate securely and effectively, accurately communicating results to a host of stakeholders on election night. Similarly, civic organizations leverage AWS as well. An example is the League of Women Voters. A US-based nonpartisan political organization, they needed a hosting solution for their website that could scale to meet the heavy demands during a federal election. Using AWS, they were able to do just that, meeting the needs of over 500,000 voters, scaling on demand on election day. So as you can see, across a number of market segments, elections administrators, civic organizations, and political campaigns, the AWS Cloud is entrusted to help modernize and securely optimize elections infrastructure across the US. By working closely with partners and customers alike, we're able to demonstrate the power of the new normal. Thank you for tuning in, and I invite you to reach out to our team at elections2020@amazon.com to learn more about the customers we serve, the use cases we help to modernize, and the ways that we could work with you directly.